Well, guilty on all counts. That is the verdict in the federal fraud and money laundering trial of suspended Insurance Commissioner Jim Beck. Good evening, I'm Russ Spencer.
And I'm Courtney Bryant. Federal prosecutors accused Beck of stealing more than $2 million from the state-created insurance company he ran called GUA. Fox 5 senior I-Team reporter Dale Russell has been in the courtroom every day the past 2 weeks and was there when the verdict was read. Big news tonight, Dale.
It was, Courtney, and also a bit of a surprise to many. It was a 2-week trial, 8 days of testimony, more than 24 witnesses. But when the jury went out, they were back with a verdict in about an hour and 15 minutes. Jim Beck, the suspended insurance commissioner, who was in office only about 4 months at the time of his indictment, guilty on all 37 counts. It followed the final day of testimony and closing arguments from 2 lawyers who did a very good job of fighting their part of the case. 2 prosecutors and a defense attorney painted for the jury vastly different pictures of Jim Beck. Assistant U.S. Attorney Brent Gray opened strong, telling the 7-woman, 5-man jury that trial testimony had shown it should be super easy for them to conclude Jim Beck is a liar and a thief. He is an ordinary, plain, fast-talking, rich fraudster, Gray instructed. Gray argued Jim Beck concocted a series of dummy corporations to be run by friends and family, some of which filed millions of dollars in false invoices. Well, what was supposed to be home inspection surveys for the company GUA that Beck ran. But the overwhelming majority of the money ended up in Beck's pocket, and most of it in cash, handed over to Beck by his cousin at various fast food restaurants. There was so much cash money that was given to Mr. Beck. Didn't that make you suspicious at all?
No.
Why not?
Because like I said before, Jim's never gave me any reason to not trust him, and I never thought anything else about him.
Gray showed the jury what he called the smoking gun exhibit, a draft email from Beck's computer that showed how the money moved between each of the companies Beck either controlled or helped set up. Gray called it a smoking gun exhibit and a great evidence of fraud.
Mr. Beck defrauded the GUA out of more than $2 million.
The potentially damning email was, in a sense, a crude, simpler version of the flowchart prosecutors displayed alleging Beck's theft and money laundering back when he was first indicted. Then defense attorney Bill Thomas went on the attack, arguing that the government got it all wrong and that they don't understand the insurance business and hadn't proven their case. Thomas says Beck took a struggling, non-profitable GUA and turned it into a money-making machine, saying that Beck's business success proves he is not a thief. Being a thief and turning a company around doesn't exist in the same room, Thomas argued. Now, obviously, the jury didn't buy that argument because it took them only an hour and 15 minutes or so to reach the verdict guilty on 37 different counts. I tried to talk to some of the jurors. They did not want to discuss their service or what they thought about it. I have also talked to people about what was the most perhaps damning evidence in this case, and 2 things seem to be have stuck out, I guess, if you would say, from the people I've talked to. The large amounts of cash paid by Jim Beck's cousin to Jim Beck, cash handed over in fast food restaurants, and also there was talk and admiration, if you will, for the withering cross-examination of Jim Beck by Assistant U.S. Attorney Brent Gray that many people felt was very damaging for Jim Beck. Mr. Beck out on bond. He will be at home wearing an ankle monitor. He has been instructed by Judge Mark Cohen that he is not to go anywhere except for pre-approved places like church and such. So we're now waiting for a sentencing. It'll come in October, and that will be the next chapter in the life of Jim Beck. From the federal courthouse, Dale Russell, Fox 5 News.
Dale, thanks.